Are you thinking about moving to Florida and you're comparing Tampa to Orlando? If so, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Amy Brown. I'm a realtor in Orlando, hint, hint, and I'm with Compass, and let's dive right in to compare the two communities. Before moving my family to Florida, we really went in-depth research into these two communities. I'm going to share with you what we looked at. You might have some other factors, so let's dive right in. I'm going to first go really kind of high level, great things about Orlando. Of course, there's a lot of entertainment. You've got Disney, SeaWorld, Universal, and you have some really great neighborhoods that are brand new near Disney that are somewhat affordable. I hate to use that word because it's getting less and less affordable every day, but there are some great communities there, and Orlando has some amazing restaurants and great shopping. Tampa is an amazing city. There's nothing negative to say about Tampa. It's just their strong suit, of course, is their excellent beaches, and they also have a very vibrant downtown. They are building luxury high-rise condos all over downtown Tampa Bay. So if you drive by there, you're going to see construction cranes like crazy. Orlando is developing their downtown, but at a slower pace than Tampa is. Tampa also has the sports culture. They have more sports teams than Orlando does. They have some great museums. The thing I would say is, if you are thinking of moving to Tampa primarily because you love beaches, then you really will need to research the driving time from your potential home to the various beaches in Tampa, because you might be surprised at how high that drive time can be. You think you're moving to Tampa and you could have a 30 to 40, 45 minute drive to the beach. So it's just something to keep in mind. The job market in Orlando and Tampa, they're both thriving. Both have very low unemployment. Obviously, Orlando has a thriving hospitality industry. They also have aerospace and healthcare. And there's something really special and fairly new in Orlando, and that's called the Lake Nona Medical City. And that has a brand new VA hospital that has the University of Central Florida Hospital, and that is booming. It's 600 plus acres, and if you are in the medical field, my husband and my daughter are, that Lake Nona was certainly an area that we did check out. We didn't end up moving to that particular community, but it was high on the list. Tampa also has a thriving job market. They have healthcare, finance, accounting, as well as tourism. Next up, we are looking at the housing market. For a very similar home, comparing Tampa to Orlando, you will spend about $30,000 more in Tampa for a very similar home. Now, when you look at percentages versus just the raw numbers, that might not be enough to influence you, but just to let you know that Orlando is slightly, as of today, a little bit less expensive. I just wanted to touch on the downtown of both of these metropolitan areas. I already talked about the high-rise condos that are going up in Tampa. They also have a river walk. They've done a lot of revitalization of the downtown. Orlando is also doing some of those things. Of course, we are not on the water, do have some great lakes, but I would say Orlando is definitely behind Tampa in their downtown area. Looking into safety, I did try to get some crime statistics that were reputable. I really wasn't comfortable with any of them I found. People generally have a feeling that Tampa is safer, but again, without hard numbers, I can't really comment on that. I will say that hurricanes were a big factor for my family, and not wanting to have to evacuate during a hurricane. Now, Tampa in the past has had hurricane damage, and Orlando, being inland, is less likely to be impacted by a hurricane. However, as you know, the climate is changing and hurricanes can come right up the center of the state. So I still say I feel a little better about being in Central Florida due to hurricanes. Next up, public transportation. The Bright Line just opened, and that will connect with high-speed rail Orlando to Miami in 3 hours. That's amazing. There's also a stop at West Palm Beach if that interests you. Tampa is a little bit behind. There is projected to be a Tampa Brightline station ballpark 2028 that will connect Tampa to Orlando, and the ride will be roughly 1 hour. Really excited for when that happens. I hope they get ahead of schedule. Probably not. As far as the downtown and the suburbs of both Orlando and Tampa, neither one of them have great public transportation. So you really are dependent on your car, unfortunately. If you live in downtown historic Winter Garden, you can be dependent on your golf cart. So that's something to think about. If you love golf carts, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Next up, sports culture. If professional sports are important to you, Tampa is probably the winner. They have more teams, more diverse teams. Orlando has the Orlando Magic. I'm not super into sports, so I'm just going to zoom on by this topic. Next up, weather. The weather is pretty similar in Tampa to Orlando. You do get probably a little bit more of the breezes off the Gulf of Mexico in Tampa than you would in Orlando. But again, pretty similar. A lot of people moving down to Florida for the sunshine. And that is absolutely one reason my family and I decided to relocate, because natural light and sunshine is so good for our mental health. It's really important. I grew up in the Midwest and lived in Maryland, and there was just too many gray days. So I have been loving the sunshine in Florida. Next up, sinkholes. It's a real issue. And if you Google the sinkholes, there's actually data and websites where you can look at where there are more sinkholes than other areas. There's a few different counties. I think it's 3 counties that are sinkhole alley. So you might want to check into that. It's certainly a concern. Having said that, I'm probably a bit more concerned about lightning and tornadoes in Florida because we have a lot of tropical storms, particularly in hurricane season, and there is a lot of serious lightning. My 2 rescue dogs hate it, so that's probably more of a concern for me personally. So how did we choose Orlando versus Tampa? Again, both amazing cities. I love visiting Tampa. We did choose Orlando, and I will tell you why. I mentioned earlier, my husband and my daughter both work in the healthcare field. Go nurses. Give this video a thumbs up if you appreciate nurses. And we looked at their driving time to various hospitals, and they did not want a long commute. After a long 12-hour shift, you don't want a long commute. So that was really important. When I looked at Tampa, on the west side of Tampa is the Gulf of Mexico. So all of the new construction that was more affordable for us was really far north of Tampa. So we looked at an area called Wesley Chapel that is super popular in Tampa. But for example, the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital in downtown is about a 45 to a 1 hour commute. And that's not even during rush hour. That's off peak. So that was really something that impacted our decision. And also just what we thought we would do more often day to day. Did we think more often day to day we would visit a beach versus a theme park, or we love Disney Springs, for example, and we're always hopping over, just to do a little shopping or have a snack or a meal. So at the end of the day, we thought that we would enjoy the amusement parks and the shopping and dining that Orlando offers more on a day-to-day basis, and that we would visit the beaches. So while I absolutely love the ocean and the beaches, and I have enjoyed visiting them, for us right now, Orlando is the winner, but it is such a hard choice, and it just depends on what you think you will spend more time doing. If you think after work you'd want to head out to the beach, then maybe Tampa's for you. But give me a call and we can, jump on a Zoom call and discuss all the pros and cons of both of the cities. Thank you for watching.